Hi guys, welcome to Classic Rock and Country Music Facts and Trivia. Thank you for being here today. Today's video mixes rock and roll and country music, and actually a little rockabilly as well. John Lennon, 1975, letter to Waylon Jennings, pitching him a song, a hit song, mind you, hit song. It's the coolest thing you'll be hearing about today. What could have been? If anyone knew what a hit song sounded like and knew when it had real potential, I can't imagine they had a better ear than John Lennon. Beatles co-founder, vocalist, and guitarist actually once pitched a tune to country music's own icon, Waylon Jennings, after hitting it off with him when they met by chance at a 1975 Grammy Awards in New York. The story of their meeting in and of itself is quite fascinating. As Waylon recalled in a 1996 interview with Terry Gross, that both famous musicians had ideas of what the other one would be like if that weren't totally true, and based mostly off things they'd heard in the press. Imagine that. Waylon had no idea how funny Lennon was when he told him that day. I met John Lennon and we were cutting up and everything at one of the Grammy things, and I said, "Man, you're funny. I didn't know you were funny." I said, "I thought you were some kind of mad guy or something like that." Lennon replied, "Listen, people in England think you shoot folks." That story stemmed from a recording session early in Waylon's career when he was frustrated with the session musicians and how they didn't play with as much passion as he wanted. He brought in a revolver one day and told them, "First guy that I hear use a pickup note, I'm going to shoot his fingers off." Members of the British press happened to be there that day and were somewhat shocked by Waylon's personality. In that moment specifically, they ran with it, and his outlaw image only grew overseas, even greater than it already was here in America. Anyhow, Lennon was so fond of Waylon that he took the time to write and mail him a letter, seemingly in the context that it accompanied some sort of song he wanted Waylon to record, although I don't know that for sure. It's a pretty short and sweet note, but I think the nature of the first meeting and quick camaraderie definitely comes through very effortlessly. Lennon also went back and hand-corrected a few spelling errors, including Waylon's name, and apologized for it after it was printed out, which you can see here. It says, "Dear Waylon, Waylon, sorry about that. It wasn't good to meet you. Try these on for size. It's a hit. I should have released it as a single myself, but I left it too late. But it ain't for someone else. All the best to you. Saw you on TV last week. Very good. Nice band. John Lennon." How cool is that? You can only imagine what the song would have sounded like with Waylon ever recorded it, but I guess we'll never know for sure. So the possibility is really fun to think about. That letter hung in Waylon's living room for the rest of his life, and in 2014, Guernsey's held a massive auction where they sold many items from Waylon's Arizona home. The letter had been referenced once prior in Waylon's 1996 book, Waylon, an Autobiography, where there was a photo of it with no context other than the caption that read, "A Beatle Writes." Ultimately sold for $7,500, but in my opinion, it's a priceless piece of music history that links two music giants and their mutual respect and admiration together forever in a really badass way. I mean, if a member of the Beatles is sending you a hit song to record, you've clearly done something right. I think part of the reason Lennon probably took a quick liking to Waylon too is partially because of all the Beatles members were huge fans of Buddy Holly, and he was a huge influence for the Beatles early on in their career. Waylon famously got his start as Buddy Holly's bass player before he became a country music star on his own, and he also once recorded a cover of the Beatles song, which was co-written by Paul McCartney and John Lennon, Norwegian Wood, in 1966 for his third studio album, Nashville Rebel. The record peaked at number 4 on the Billboard country music charts, and I'm sure the fact that Waylon was obviously already a longtime fan only made meeting Lennon and receiving that letter an even more full circle moment for the country outlaw, who was notoriously quite difficult to impress. Give it a listen if you get the chance. I'm sure you can find it right here on YouTube. I'm a fan of Waylon Jennings. I love his music, but I'm more of a fan of Waylon Jennings, the storyteller. I love reading the stuff the stories he tells. They're so funny and so cool. Also, I'm not a huge fan of the Beatles, but I'm a fan of the Beatles, the early stuff. And man, I'd love to have my hands on that letter. How it only sold for $7,500. Well, my wife wouldn't let me spend that much, but I would have tried. Man, what a piece of music history. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Please share this one out if you don't mind. Viewership's kind of tanking, and that's kind of hurting my feelings a little bit. Anyway, please subscribe if you have not yet. Please like this video. You guys have a great day. God bless you. And as always, I'm praying for you.